Friday. We're live. We are live here on Followup Friday. Waiting for Steven here.
I'm getting my shirt. Getting my shirt.
He's got to get a shirt.
I got to get the money shirt because this is a money topic we're going to talk about. It's very important. I'm getting my Follow-Up Friday shirt on because this is a money topic. Money green. Carlos printed this morning for money green.
I'm so glad you knew exactly where that was at.
Yes, absolutely. This never strays very far.
Yeah.
Far. You know, it was at one point in time, it was in my van. I would leave it in my van. And I'm so glad that when my van got stolen, I had taken it out. So I would have been crushed without my money green Follow-Up Friday shirt. Money green, baby. Money green. It's a
follow. Did you just say you got your van stolen?
Oh, yeah, last year in May. It got stolen in May. Yeah, hard life we live in, man. Not
good people.
That is living in the ghetto, man. You know, it's tough like that sometimes for me.
Yeah.
But hey, I wanted to talk this morning about prospecting, about outside sales. Outside sales. We had some incidents where we've done that. I know you've done it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that as the topic for Follow-Up Friday because it works. It works. Talk about building up some prospects, doing some outside sales prospecting is phenomenal for generating some business. So I know, Carlos, you had to start many businesses, and in doing that, you had to do a lot of outside sales. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, I did, and I was sitting here thinking when you were saying outside sales, it's like, you know, it's a night and day difference from inside sales. So, you know, there is. I don't know if people realize that. You know, being in the car business for me, it was inside sales. People were coming to my lot. I had to get advertising out there. You know, we had to get marketing. We got to get people on the lot. We got to, you know, make it attractive for people driving by, you know, and then people came on the lot, you know, and that was inside sales. But I can tell you this much. So car lots are usually inside sales. Well, I took it a step further and I started doing outside sales in cars. It was so fun. It was hard, but it was fun. You know, but I also took it another.
Why, Carlos? Why did you decide to do outside sales?
Just to get more, to do something different, to be something, to try it out, to see if we could get more.
Right.
You know, to see what it was like. I did it. You know, I did it for a good amount of time. You know, and it's totally different, and it's not easy to do. It's totally different, but. You know, there's a lot of people out there that, you know, don't realize what the difference is from outside sales and inside sales. Inside sales, you got a retail location, you know, people come into your store, you know, and then you try to sell them your products, you know. But when you got outside sales, it's difficult, you know. You guys know, in the mortgage business, that's outside sales. You're outside, you know, out trying to generate sales, trying to generate, you know, business and relationships. And it's a night and day difference. I didn't even know when I was young. I didn't know that, you know, inside and outside, I'm like, sales is sales, but it's a night and day difference because, you know, when you start up a business, that's what you're doing is outside sales, you know?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing when you're a mortgage lender, when you're a real estate agent, when you're insurance agent, you know, there's not a whole lot of, just because you got a brick and mortar, you know, and you got an office space and you work out of, doesn't mean that people are going to be walking in your door buying.
Right. And that's how you're going to get them to walk in the door and start buying is by doing that outside sales prospecting. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and listen, I'm going to tell you right now, you already know this, so I'm not telling you something you don't already know, but every single time you do outside sales prospecting, you're going to get your telephone ringing. You're going to get people calling you. You're going to get someone in some activity. It is 100% guaranteed, 100%, no question. It's a guaranteed method to generate some business is to get outside and start doing some outside sales, some marketing of yourself, some handing out cards, some knocking on doors, some handing out flyers, some meeting and greeting people. get outside. And, the moment you do it, it's going to flood in. So I have a couple of examples. The first example I shared before is the transmission business. When I went to work for Sprint, I left. I sold my stock and I bought a Cotman transmission franchise out of the East Coast, right? And what they trained us was how to do outside sales. That's how you're going to build your business. Yeah, we'll advertise for you. Yeah, you've got a franchise marketing agreement. Yeah, we'll do some mailers for you. Yeah, we'll put you here, put you there. But the way you're going to build your business is you're going to have to let people know who you are, where you are, and what you do. You got to get outside of these four walls and make sure you do that. And it was greater than the effect of going to the Chamber of Commerce. It was greater than the effect of advertising on radio. It was greater than any of those other effects. And they said, pick a market, pick an area, decide who you want to go after them, walk in, introduce yourself, tell them who you are, what you do, leave them a card and a flyer. That's all you got to do. That's all you can do. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is even, I bought a company 12 years ago, and it was a brick and mortar, and it has a decent location, so people are supposed to be walking in and generating business. But when I bought it, it was struggling. They weren't doing much. They weren't doing much with it. They didn't have a lot of people coming in, and when I bought it, it was struggling. But I saw the potential to where it's super simple. You got to be able to grow. There's always room for growth.
Yes.
And when I bought this thing, I was sitting there thinking in my mind, I could trip and make more money doing this. I could go and talk to a few people and make more money doing this. I can add one item to my business. I can add one service to this business and it will grow. And so I sat there and I thought, it's not a risk. I mean? It's not that big of a risk when there was people walking in. We just need more people walking in, or I could just go and talk to some people and bring business in,
Yeah.
So, customer service is a big thing and all that fun stuff. But when you got outside sales, all you got to do is just go talk to people, I mean, you can generate outside sales pretty easy. And by meeting new people and making new connections. When I came here 10 years ago, I also didn't know anything about that word networking. Seriously, when I heard networking, I thought that was connecting wires to other wires. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did. I seriously did. I'm not joking. I thought networking. I'm like, what is networking? That's like putting cables together or connecting computers, your network.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize when I came here, networking was important to business.
Yeah.
And I grew, and I guess maybe I did in a roundabout way when I was doing outside sales in Nebraska. But, I was always trying to meet new people. In the car lot, I wasn't just selling to people off the lot. I was also meeting people every single day. I was always trying to find somebody to buy a car somewhere, somehow. And that's outside sales.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And I didn't limit myself to just the people walking on the lot and saying, those people walk on the lot and you got 10 people that are fighting over them. I did not just rely on that. I was out trying to meet new people. I was out trying to develop new relationships. And don't get me wrong, I was sitting on the car lot, every day. But when I wasn't, I was prospecting. I was doing outside sales. When I wasn't, if I was out and about, if I was out with some friends, if I was out at, at a restaurant, or if I was anywhere I was going new, I was always letting people know what I do and who I am. I sell cars. Do you guys need a new car? How's your car? Or if I'm outside, hey, how's your car? Do you need a new car? I was always trying to meet new people and trying to get them to buy cars. So I was relying on my outside sales to bring in more. And even if I didn't get a sale from them, at least they knew who I was and where I was at, that they could come and see me. anytime, or they could refer people.
Yeah.
My biggest thing was insurance agents. Insurance agents are always dealing with people with cars.
Yeah.
Uh, so I was always trying to develop relationships with insurance agents. Plus, I sent them back business. If somebody came in and they didn't have, they were like, "Oh, I want to find some new insurance," or "My insurance is high," I would always refer them to an insurance agent.
Yep. Yep.
So, it you know, getting those outside sales is important to your business. Very
Yeah,
important.
it's critical, man. And I love what you just said. Morning, Vanita. Good morning, Vanita. Always joins us. She's awesome. Love you. Um, I love what you said, though. You said that you didn't just settle. I put it on in the comments. You didn't just settle for what or who walked in on the lot. You went out and got more people. You went out and found other people, right? Because if you just have to settle, then you're fighting with all those other people. Well, go create your own walk-in list, if you will, right? And so
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you said that, because how many people are just settling for what's walking in the door? You know what I mean? How many people are just settling? And you can exponentially increase your business, by doing outside sales, by prospecting, and it's not difficult. It's like that's why I put this in the comments. How do you outside sell? All you're going to do is walk in the door, introduce yourself, tell them who you are, what you do, and where you're located, and that's it. That's it. That introduction by itself is going to net you at least one deal a month if you do this on a consistent basis. That's it.
Yep. I love it. I absolutely, absolutely love it. It's because it's that simple. You know, People got to get out their comfort zone. It's not, you don't have to be terrified to talk to people. You don't have to be terrified to get new business. You have to do it in volumes. That's why we went like last week when we talked about the business cards, you know what I mean? And it's like, you got to have those business cards. You got to give people those business cards. I've noticed myself giving more business cards out again lately. You know, I noticed it lately. I've always had some business cards in my pocket, and I have been giving out a lot of business cards these last couple of weeks. And it wasn't difficult. It wasn't like I was forcing myself to do it. It just was habit. I'm like, here's a card. I walked into a house yesterday, and I was literally on the phone, but I could hear them talking to another person about, are you guys here? Are you an agent or whatnot? And I just handed them a card instantly. And it doesn't matter. And she later, by the end of the conversation, before I left that house, she was like, "Hey, let's work together on this. Let's work together on trying to, get more houses." And I told them that I do commercial real estate, and they don't do commercial real estate, and they said they would refer me some commercial real estate. So, and it's another real estate agent. So you can network you can network and do outside sales with anybody, and it just could be casual conversation. It's just teaching people who you are and what you do, and you got to do it fast, and you got to do it in a big volume.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I've also learned, when I was going door to door, I would park my car at a street, and I would walk a strip center, or I would walk the strip center, walk across street, walk another building, and I would do a ton of walking. But I learned, and I was doing it every single day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was, I could say that I was getting tired, but then I'm like thinking, once I started doing it and it was working, I'm like, okay, I got to do it bigger and faster. So then I found out about this networking, and this networking, I can go to a networking event that has 100 people, and I can sit there and do the same thing I do in all those businesses.
Yeah.
And tell them who I am, what I do, and how and my biggest thing is finding out who they are and what they do as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And so I do both. Try to find out what they do and how I can help them, and I sit there and think, can I refer them somebody? Can I get them some kind of business? Can I help them grow? If I can help somebody else grow and they benefit from me, helping them, then they're going to see that I'm an asset to them.
That's right. Yeah, it always comes back to that. It always comes back to that, right? How we can help other people, because ultimately the reciprocity rule always plays back in our favor. It always does, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. But yeah, no, I've shared before, about how, I started the transmission business, didn't know anything about cars, and just started doing. That's because that's what they told me. I didn't know anything. And they said, This is what you do. You'll get your business. Your business will just blow up, right? And it did. Like the store went from 298 out of 300 to number 2 in the country, right? And that's just by just doing what they told me to do. Go introduce yourself. Go meet the people. Tell them who you are, what you are, where you are, what you do, and it works because they get a chance to see who I am, right? Meet me in person and see that I think he's probably a pretty good guy, right? And I think that makes a big difference too. So we're not on lockdown anymore. It's open. So
And and to be honest with you, that lockdown for me was, I still did it.
I
I
know.
just was just cautious. You know what I mean? I felt really, it kind of, it, 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 it put a needle in me when I was like, no, you can't go network and people aren't networking or this event's canceling, because that's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then, but still, I still visited people, just because I didn't shake their hand,
Right.
or just because I used my elbow, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that I didn't still do what I needed to do. You
Right.
know, just
Right.
because I stayed 6 feet away from somebody doesn't mean I didn't do what I did. And,
Yep.
I still had to do what I do, because if I don't keep doing it, it's not going to grow. And then if and the biggest thing is if you guys can get to the point where you have somebody else do what you do, and you get them consistent, and you get them being do exactly what you do, and that's going to help you grow. Then you find more people, you add another person to help you go out and meet new people and go out and bring more business, and they make their money, and then get another person that will do that same thing, and then it's just volume, and then you're going to eventually, 10, 15, 20 people, 100 people, and then you grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, remember, I spent the month of December down in Panama City Beach, Florida, and when I was there, that's what I was doing, was dropping off cards, introducing myself, meeting people, and I'm still getting business and still getting calls from that. This is now April 1st. That happened like back in 2021 in December. I'm still getting that, Michelle Harmon was down in Panama City Beach, Florida for spring break, and she went out and she door knocked, she dropped business cards, dropped flyers. Within the next day, she started getting calls. She already has a couple pre-approvals, right? But it just happened just like that. And then she was like, wow. And I was like, no, that's how it happens. Like, outside sales works 100% of the time. This is a tactic, a strategy that's been used for a while. The insurance guys know this. Talk to insurance guys. They'll tell you, they call it a milk route. Outside sales works. The insurance guys already know this, right? And what's the hardest thing to sell? There's nothing harder to sell than insurance.
Yeah.
But these guys know it. And the ones that are extremely successful, they know you got to get out of the office. You got to do some outside sales. And all you got to do is just introduce yourself, tell them who you are, what you do, where you're at, and that's it. That's it. And if you got some business cards, if you got flyers, drop them off. If you got business cards, just hand off the business card, right? And that's it. If you got flyers, and hand out some flyers. It doesn't matter. Carlos, you talk all the time about how you keep getting these old flyers, and you know that it's been a long time, and these people have kept these flyers from your outside sales activities that you've been doing a long time.
And that's another thing. Like, for a long time, my wife kills me, and I kind of slowed down on doing it a little bit. But when we were going on, we'd go to Branson, or we'd go to the Ozarks, and I don't know why I did it, but I did. I mean, I obviously wanted more, but I went down to the Ozarks for a week, and every day I would spend probably 2 to 3 hours, 2 hours. And that's 2 hours out of your day. Out of a 24-hour day, you can spend 2 to 3 hours. And I would go and prospect. I would go up and down the street. I would go and meet business to business. And I generated a lot of business out of the Ozarks, and I print for people down there, but I also don't stay in front of them too. So if I could stay in front of them now, it would make things a lot better. But I go to places and I always prospect. I always try to get new business some way or another,
Yeah.
I introduced myself yesterday. No matter who I talk to, I always let them know I do printing,
Yeah.
So, I always try to get um, I always try to get more printing from some kind of agent, some kind of realtor.
Yeah, yeah. Carlos Vanita has a question. Where's your
Where's
business? I need
my
more.
business on? My business is on 127th and Antioch in Overland Park,
Okay,
right behind
I'm gonna put that in the I'm gonna put that right here, Carlos. So look.
right behind Starbucks and Zips.
So I'm
One
gonna
two
share. Go ahead.
one
Go ahead.
12641 Antioch Road.
Let's see here. I'm gonna put that on the screen too. Let me put that here. Anita said she needs some business cards. So Carlos is your guy for business cards. And he prints the best business cards in the business. Let's see, where are we?
Did you see everybody got their business cards?
I did, yes. Now they got to get rid of those business cards. We got
That's right.
30 to 90 days. Got to get rid of those business cards. So here goes
And
Carlos's business.
I keep telling them, that I'm not joking when I say people need to um, keep generating business and handing out those cards. It's not a joke. You know what I mean? Because if they're not doing it, that means they're not talking to people. If they're not adding more business, to if they're not adding more relationships and meeting new people to tell them who you are and what you do, then they're not adding it.
Oh, wait a minute. I put the wrong comments in there. Disregard that one. Sorry. Yeah, no, you're right, Carlos. You're right. If they're not if they're not getting rid of those business cards, they absolutely are not meeting enough people, you know.
They're not. And then when you get there, and it just kills me when people sit there and say, um, I can't, we're not making it, or this business isn't making it, or I'm not getting enough business. It's not because it's the right business or that it doesn't generate. It's because you're not doing something with it. You're not talking to people. You're not doing outside sales.
Yeah.
You're not meeting new people. You're not getting it to generate. You're not getting that new business.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mail and copy plus, folks. Mail and copy plus. Get your business cards. Get rid of those business cards. You should get rid of them in 30 to 90 days. Carlos says 30. That's 1,000 business cards. 1,000 business cards. Multi-purpose too. Don't just do a one-sided card.
No, and it's caught for me. There's people out there that charge, per side. There's people out there that charge. You got a color up front and a color black and white and back. It's the same thing for me. Don't waste the real estate.
Yeah, don't waste
something on the back,
and let them know what you do. Let them know what you do. I mean, listen. Everybody has this presentation. I'm a loan officer. Okay, well, what do you do? And that's where I think I've had the greatest impact with your cards is when you said, let's use this real estate to tell people what you do. Put a list of stuff that you do. And this back of this card alone gets people to pick it up and call me.
Because Stephen, because the back of your card before had a building on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it had some kind of bridge or something.
It did.
You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? So what does that do? That's the only reason why that was different. I mean, some people do it, but you don't have to spill everything out on it, but they got to figure out, you might as well not waste it. It costs you the same.
Look at this one.
Yeah. Nothing on the back.
Nothing on the back. One of my guys. Here's my guy. I got Kelvin Beatty from Commercial Real Estate. Kelvin gets it. Kelvin said, I do land, purchase sales, retail office, apartments. Kelvin gets it, right? And on the front side, he's got his stuff. That's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got our guy here. This is our guy. You'll know this guy. This is our guy from a car dealer. But look what's on the back. Nothing. I'd have a car. I'd have some really nice cars on there, something, right? So anyway, don't waste
this person I do signs with. This guy does the light up. I don't do the light up sign. But then on the back of his, it says outdoor signs.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like,
yep.
I like it. I like this card. He does. You can tell it's his business name, and then in the back, it's just simple outdoor signs.
Yep. I always try to idiot-proof things, and you shouldn't need to ask me what I do. If I hand you my card, you should know what I do. Boom, right? So anyway, I'm going to let you get to your day. I wanted to talk outside sales prospecting because it's the best way to get business going. It's the best way to increase business. If business is slow, ask myself, how much outside sales have I done? How many business cards? Am I still sitting on half of my business cards in that 1,000 that I got? If that's the case, then I got to get rid of those business cards. What's a way to get rid of the business cards? Outside sales prospecting. Get out, walk around, introduce myself. Everybody will need my service at some point in time, whether I'm a car dealer, a realtor, a lender, an insurance guy, a coffee guy. It doesn't matter. Everyone is going to need the service at some point in time, or know someone that will need the service at some point in time. And when I get out and I walk in, I get the opportunity to run into that prospect and that opportunity. And it's worked. So I wanted to talk about that because I know we have multiple examples where we have done it successfully, and it works.
Yeah, we'll help. Anybody needs some more business cards? I know she does. If anybody else needs business cards or flyers, just to hand out on a regular basis, like I said before, I hand out 25. I print 25 to 50 flyers. I used to do that every week, on Monday, and then I just keep handing them out, and then I'd print some more and hand them out. You don't have to print thousands of them, if you don't want to, just print 25 of them at a time and then go hand them out. Then that way, you're doing it, that way, you're not just sitting around and twiddling your thumbs. So
I've said if they need them, they need to get a hold of you. All right, Carlos, I appreciate you, man. This has been fun. This is a great topic. I thought it'd be fun to talk about because we know the value of it, the importance of it. And if someone wants to take their business and double it right now, 21 days of consecutive prospecting consistently. It may not be 21 straight days, but let's just say you're going to do it 21 days over the course of maybe 2 days a week or 1 day a week. Just be consistent and do it for 21 incidences on whether it's weekly or daily, doesn't matter. The business is going to flow in.
Quarter one is gone, guys. Quarter two starts
today.
Let's get prospecting. I'll get back on the streets if anybody wants to prospect with me and get out there and get on the streets. Let's do it together. Just call me, message me, email me, whatever, and we'll get out there and get prospecting.
Sounds good. All right, Carlos, I appreciate you, man. Have a good weekend. I got some prospecting to do. I'm going to take Kansas City by storm this year. This is going to be the best year ever. And this is the toughest market ever, but it's still going to be the best year ever. Why? Because I'm going to prospect even more. Doesn't matter. Every year is better than the next.
That's right.
All right, my man. I appreciate you.
We'll see you later.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks, Vanita.